say you buy your scooter, it shows you how to pump it up a bit. So you give it a few cracks, then it'll allow fuel to enter into the chamber. Once you start the scooter with that gas, it'll create vacuum and start drawing fuel into the flow pole again. After you've drained it, right? Right? Draining?
When you want to drain it, then
yes.
You won't be able to drain the car.
No, that's right. You can't. After it's stalled, then you can drain the flow pole.
Okay.
And that's it.
And then when you want to start it back up again, you're going to have to...
Yeah, you got to pump the fuel, because as soon as you pump it, it'll pull the slot, it'll shoot fuel into the cylinder head, that'll allow that startup to happen. It'll be a little rough, because there's no gas.
Smoke?
A little. It will smoke a little. And then it'll draw fuel from the tank. It'll open all the check valves and start sucking fuel in and filling the flow pole with gas. Then the flow will actually shut the fuel off so that it doesn't overflow. Overflow, remember? Overflow, Scarabeo, overflow. That was one of the glitches with the Scarabeo. If you guys all, how many of you guys know Scarabeo? Lucky you guys, because it's one of the best scooters in the world. So one of the flaws that happened with Scarabeo is it arrived with an off sort of flow pole. You guys know what a flow pole is? Basically what it sounds like, a flow. It controls how much fuel gets delivered into the carburetor. But there is a safety factor because it has to shut off. Because a flow pole is only so many inches deep. If fuel starts to travel in it and fill up, eventually it'll keep filling up right past the hole and start coming out of the airbox. So this float actually controls a needle that shuts off the fuel from coming in. So as it's burning it off, it's opening the valve and allowing fuel to keep up with the level. If it's under or over, it'll affect the performance of your scooter, or not cause you to ride your scooter because A, it's overfilling it and flooding the scooter. Because if it's flooding the scooter, it's going to start running out into the engine and out into the airbox, right? You guys know what a carb looks like? Should I get a card?
Yeah.
I should get a card? What? Yeah, so my champ's going to get the card, and I'm going to show you exactly how a flow pole works. I'm going to show you where the drain is on the carburetor, so you know how to drain the fuel. Install a hose and run it away from the bike, so that I don't get gas falling into the car, into the sheets. There's a little screw on the side. That's the lowest point of the flow pole, right? So if I crack this screw loose, it'll allow the valve to open and allow fuel to leave the carburetor.
What carburetor is that? What bike?
This is a CBX LX150.
That's from a 200 engine?
Exactly similar but big. Yeah, big.
Is there already a hose off that?
No, they never put a hose there. It's serviceable. You can't, but take it off after because then it's in the way. Yeah. We just use it for service because this is sitting right in the middle of the scooter.
Can you see that?
Yes, this is always accessible, always. Sometimes they'll put blankets on your scooter, like sound deadening blankets or just protection blankets. They look like little rubber covers that might just hide this a little bit. All you gotta do is push it out of the way, and you'll see it there. Once you insert your screwdriver, you press down on the blanket, and you'll see the screw that actually allows you to drain.
Then you fold it up?
Yes, and you snug it. Don't go crazy, because it is a valve. It looks like a little...
Fuel that's left in the carburetor.
That's it. That's why I'm asking you to run it again, because you'll start the whole cycle over.
Right. So
most people shut the fuel lines off by crimping them. See, here's a fuel line here.
Yeah.
They'll shut it off by crimping the fuel line. So they know for sure no gas is going to the carburetor. But if you fog it, it's done.
Okay.
And if that's still accessible through the top, or do you have to come?
Depending on the scooter, on most Vespas it's very easy because, or Flies, sorry. Flies, you remove a little Phillips screw, move the cover of the way, and you can see the top of the carburetor. It's actually sitting like this. If we were sitting on the scooter and we get off, it's sitting exactly like this. So now you know it's on this side.
Right. So on the Vespa, you've opened up the seat, you've taken out the...
You take that insert cover out, and you'll see the carburetor sitting like that, and you'll know that, hey, here's my main fuel line that comes in.
Right.
And right below it is the valve that controls the...
So it's pretty tight in this, you need a fairly small screwdriver to do that work.
Yeah, but they're not that snug.
Okay.
So once you've fogged it, George, now you're going to remove the fuel that's left in the carburetor. You're not going to wash that fogged carburetor?
No, because all it's doing is protecting the actual element of the carburetor. You understand? It'll touch, as soon as it touches the main jet, it'll stop. That's what happens. It going through will burn. It'll burn off that fogging agent. But as soon as it gets clogged in the venturis, that A, suck in air, B, suck in fuel, it'll stop. It's too thick. It doesn't work well with fuel. It'll block. That's it. Leave it like that. Drain it. Drain all so that you don't develop that ring around the collar.
Right.
Inside here, there's a little float. You hear that? That little float is down for filling, closed for stopping. I'm only flipping it to show you that it's stopping it, right? But when fuel goes in this little float bowl, it'll push this little plastic set of teeth up, and it'll stop the fuel from coming in. If that wasn't there, it would actually start to ooze it out the back end, where your air box is attached, right? And the intake part, which goes into the cylinder, hence the excessive amount of fuel going into your cylinder, the hard startups, whatnot. Do you see how many different things that could be that could give you that problem? You know? Any other questions?
Just for winterizing, what were we to do with the tires?
You
In a
should set them
cold
at, you
environment?
notice some of your scooters obviously have center stands, right?
Yeah.
So the back tire is not really always touching the ground. The valve isn't leaking, anything from the oil filter is not leaking, and the actual oil gets traveled through the engine, so you can check for proper oil level. Right? Any questions? And we're almost there, guys. The service is almost done. So now you can see where your bucks are actually going. Right? This is why we're doing this, so you guys understand. After he's done this, he'll be doing an electrical check of your lights and more.
I'm just curious, like the oil that comes out, where does it go?
It goes in our, we have an empty container that we store, and we call a company in to come actually suck the oil out.
Yeah.
They do charge us. Unfortunately, at one time it used to be free. But now to actually clean the oil or decide... High beam, low beam. So you can walk around with the key, make sure no mirrors are used, so you pop it, whip, it's not going to fall off. And usually what happens now is that he'll fix a mechanic finger removal. A quick detail. Usually during the busy season now we have cleanup work, so you guys can clean outside. The mechanic will take the motor over outside and they'll detail it. They do a light spray they call with cleaner. All they do is they spray it on the area usually where they've worked on it the most, or if they notice the consumer or the client actually is a little bit dirty and doesn't really love his scooter much, they'll do your wheels and lightly they'll have a perimeter where they're only allowed to put the wand in. Because they can't get too close, guys, and you can't get that far, but just enough so that you'll be removing that light dirt. They're not actually washing your motorcycle like you would. You know, they're not on their hands and knees going crazy, waxing. They're just removing all the light, dirty, and grease. Just to make it nicer for you to pick up your scooter clean. But just remember not to go too crazy with the power wash, guys. Right?
A regular hose.
No, a hose is usually always the nicest thing. If you're experienced, you can use a power wash. It doesn't damage the bike, you know, but sometimes I drive by people's houses, and they got the power washer right here. That's like 2,000 PSI, 1,500. You're looking for damage. You're waiting. You want to change the color of your bike overnight? That's how to do it. Right? So that basically concludes the service. Now from here, obviously he gave it a slight little polish. He's inspected all working lights, brakes. You saw him inspect the brake fluid. Some issues are very easy. It's time efficient, so they don't have to charge you to remove stuff, to look at your fluid levels. There's usually inspection holes. Have a nice day. It's at the level. The color is important too. Most technicians know the color of fluids, what they should look, what they shouldn't look like. Right? Most machines, when they're brand new, should always look clear like Unico oil. They shouldn't turn black and brown in this color. Then they're either A, there's a problem, or you're really aggressive on your brakes. Don't listen to that. Oh yes, you want to split it up? Yeah, you could do that. You could do that if you want. If you're economic and you want to save some money. Yes,
I had
you
two
can.
on this thing. If you want to save any money, buy one.
Yeah, you can. But just don't forget and label your battery with the last 4 digits of your VIN and the last 4 digits of your VIN. You know what I mean? But if you're frivolous, you don't care about the $60, you got two. Go nuts. You don't have to worry about it. You know, there's no battle of mine was on longer, yours is on longer, mine's on less. That's not fair. Stop pulling hair. Shots are flying.